This is the world record speedrun for High on Life, done in 1 hour, 50 minutes, 30 seconds. And in today's video, I'm going to attempt to break that world record. The only difference is that I have never played High on Life.
I haven't even watched any gameplay on it.
But before we jump in, I just want to explain the quote-unquote rules to this. Rule number 1, I have never played this game. That's going to be the rule for this series.
Rule number 2, I have never watched any gameplay, especially speedruns. I'm not allowed to know any jumps, any tricks, any out of bounds things, any skips. I'm not allowed to know any of that unless I discover it on my own.
Rule number 3, I'm not actually going for a world record, so I am allowed to pause the game for bathroom breaks if I need to go grab some food or just, take a break here and there. Rule number 4, preferably no advice from my chat, which shouldn't be a problem for my 2 viewers, but still not going to be trying to take any cheat codes in this speedrun. Now that we've discussed the rules, we just have to look at the buttons to make sure that I'm familiar with what I'm about to do, and then go ahead and start the game. We are playing on normal mode. Story mode seemed too easy, and I didn't want to do hard mode for a first-time speedrun. We start the game in a Doom-style PC game. Being the sharpshooter I am, I breezed through the level before getting stuck in a room with a not-so-nice note written for me. I am then greeted by my sister, where I wasn't sure if she was trying to convince me to do the dirty or take some cocaine.
Oh my god, don't give me that look, nerd. It's fine. Mom and Dad are
That they were
gone
going
for
to
a
suggest
whole
fucking,
fucking
but
week.
I guess
We
we're
can do
on
whatever
different
we
pages.
want.
That's when I spend too much time picking out a character, forgetting that I am in a speedrun. I go downstairs and have the strategy of just spamming my interact button on everything to try to speed through this. After realizing I wasted more time, I then go outside to be greeted by the aliens from the movie Home. After seeing them fight like it was the beaches of Normandy, I was then greeted by my new companion, Morty, from the hit show Rick and Morty. Now that I have a weapon, I go towards the ship and shoot randomly like a Master Chief boarding a scarab in Halo 2. I do blindly listen to Morty's advice as if I had no other option, and decide to send my house to a different dimension. Early in the game, I am almost panicking because I'm trying to skip all the cutscenes and dialogues, which I then learn that you can't do. What becomes essentially my first mission, I have to look for a homeless famous person, just like more childhood stars we have in the real world. We eventually find our famous homeless person, Gene. I then make the trade of a lifetime. My parents' home for a spacesuit, which if you ask 16-year-old Ben, I would probably do the same. The suit boots up to a virus-infected operating system as if I was a stereotypical 16-year-old kid, so I have to go to a pawn shop to fix the virus, as one would for computer problems. After going back to my former house, I have my first actual level in the game, the slums. I learned now about the waypoint button that highlights my objective. You'll see me spam this throughout the entire speedrun. After getting inside, I'm all go, 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 trying to sprint past everything. I still have yet to look in the top left corner, which tells me what my objective is. Example, take out Ant Goons. After talking with his local, I then realize what choices you make in the conversation is important. Some are just filler dialogue, but there is one correct question to ask. So the strategy then becomes what question makes the most sense for my objective. I also then see how stylish his fit is. He's wearing Crocs. I continue moving forward, making things more difficult than they have to be, as I will do throughout the entire run. Oh shit, that's not what I want to do. We then talk to Dumb and Dumber to grab the creepiest weapon I've ever used in a video game, but I also pretty much only play Halo and Apex, so nothing too creepy there. The best part about our new stabby friend is we can now use him as a grapple. The game essentially makes him a mandatory part of the game, but what is more important is that this will increase my movement speed, assuming I use him correctly. Other important features to Mr. Stabby is that he can open these chests that will give you money, which basically becomes a distraction more than anything, but he can also be used to kill enemies. I learned that killing a upgraded enemy with a knife can be faster, but also much easier. The smaller enemies with lower health are faster to just shoot in the head.
I don't know if I'm gonna do.
I continue spamming my scan button and wasting time while I'm not sure where to go, but after a couple wrong turns and a badass Borderlands intro, we face our first boss, Ninetorg.
Hey, Borderlands.
Luckily, she's our first boss, so nothing too difficult, but I still struggled as I was still learning basic mechanics. We slowly and painfully finish the boss fight to then start our second boss fight immediately. A much more difficult version of Ninetorg, 5Torg, but this time I was much more skilled and had no issues.
Are you gonna be okay? I can't feel that, you know. Ow! Fuck! Cut it out! You don't want 3-Torg in charge. Trust me, there's still a literal child.
Okay.
Nice! We killed another boss!
Now we go to our Sims 4 simulator and listen to our sister and homeless, ex-homeless alien bicker and fight.
He keeps saying it's his house now.
What?
No, I just took the liberty of upgrading your security.
After turning in our bounty and not paying attention to the objective in the top left corner, we now get to go back to our favorite pawn shop, Pawn Stars. And what should have taken me 2 seconds takes me about 1.5 years to buy a simple item.
Dodge unit. Oh my god.
This item allows you to dodge or thrust mid-air and even on the ground. Side note, this ability is used for insane movements, but I have no idea till later. Also, there's a movie playing in the background that looks incredibly... yeah. I also find out that this is a real movie and it just continues playing throughout the game. With our new abilities and the first level done with, we use the teleporter to travel to the mind of a teenager at Woodstock 69. Traversing as quickly as I can, fighting off the CDA, we then get to the crossover episode of Star Wars and the Care Bears. Overall, this game is littered with movie references, at least in my own head. Struggling to pay attention to my objective, I start talking to the King Bear while trying to figure out how to skip dialogue. Again. After we get our next objective, I struggle with 2 things.
I don't know if it was just
Number 1, remembering that I have these new abilities. Number 2, knowing how to use them. First part is just user error. Then the second part, not fully my fault. Just comes with time. But after struggling with my abilities for a hot second, I instantly become a god with them, and then about 20 minutes later, I beat the game. Let's be honest, that didn't happen. But what did happen is I used my pro Call of Duty zombie moves and getting through crowds of enemies to then meet our millionaire friend that gives us a warp card. With it, we can warp needed things, like a bridge, because we need this much more than the people on the other side. But after getting to our next area, we clear it out with ease, till we find these CDAs hiding under the main structure. There they are. We go down the mine shaft to then 360 trick shot this guy.
360 assassination.
This is also where I paused my game for the first time because of how unprofessional this run is. Moving on, this shot took a second too long, but after hitting it, we get to go to our new job. Didn't know I applied to one, but now we have to forge signatures in the most complex way possible. Pressing buttons. This honestly took longer than I was expecting, but that was obviously the goal.
There definitely is not going to be a third stack.
Are you kidding me?
The cold sting of irony.
We get to our next warp card to then talk to Ted while he watches some tentacles do something. I think we find out about this later. Then my greedy ass wastes more time going for coins that I won't spend on anything.
Damn.
We get back to our millionaire friend who's just sleeping on the floor for whatever reason, which then leads us to our next boss fight with Krubis. The main objective here is just to use our slug shot thingy to knock him down and then hit him with our stabby thing. As you can tell, I'm well versed in this game already. But this boss also has an extremely hard dodge ability. He drills through the walls and ground around you, so you pretty much just run around in a circle hoping for the best. I was so nervous here as I kept getting low on my health. After defeating Krubis, this is where we get our second weapon, which adds more movement for the run. He can also suck enemies off of things and towards you. Now we are ready to head back to our house and watch more of our movie. After hearing our roommates argue for way too long, we get to fight off Mysterio. This is when things get confusing because I do pay attention to the objective, but the objective is wrong. I'm starting to not believe in this thing. So after killing everything, I can actually do what the objective wants. Kill everything again.
Are you telling us to kill them?
Whoa, I didn't say that. I just said wink, wink.
This is also when I start getting better with killing people with the correct weapons. Knifing at the correct distance can save you some time. And then also, perfectly hitting a headshot on the smaller enemies is most definitely going to save you a lot of time. We are now greeted by Mysterio, who is trying to recruit us into the CDA. We run through the city, killing the CDA while trying to become one. Look, I don't make the rules, okay? We now meet this purple dude. Honestly, couldn't think of a joke here, but it is what it is. He has a stand under his pet to be, does he shit on you? Become a CDA.
This fucking, oh my god, the smell. Oh my god, I'm gonna fucking
Shits on you. That's disgusting.
Now that we are officially disguised and smell like shit, we can start our training program. My goal here was to shoot and knife everything as fast as humanly possible. Wait, isn't that the point of a speedrun? Anyways, I killed the other recruits, which is just a for sure way of getting the job you want, kids. Eliminate the competition. This is when the speedrun slows down to a complete halt because we have to wait exactly 1 hour for our training purposes.
We're testing your resolve, so just stand there patiently and
Oh,
wait.
guess it's not going to be much of a speed run.
Just kidding. I'm sorry. Now we meet the newest addition to our friends, Squidward, but before he became an angry adult, just like all of us.
Here, please hit me as hard as you can.
He has us do some simple 2 puzzles to help him traverse the map. I'm so happy we could help him out. He's just such a nice guy. We get to this small arena, murder a bunch of people, and then move on to the next puzzles. Sometimes shooting this glob doesn't go exactly where you want it to. It's just getting the angle. It's tough. But from my understanding, that's a skill issue. So was this jump, but we don't have to talk about that. God damn. Oh. We then get to our final puzzle. It looks far harder than it actually is, but he has a halfway point, so it's pretty much 2 puzzles. After solving it, Squidward then becomes Mysterio? Who would have thought? Well, now on to our next boss fight, which is another fun one. He teleports around the room while the floor has electric panels go off. This doesn't take me way too long. You can shoot through walls with a charge shot. Cool. But after beating him, we get to use the Needler from Halo, which is actually one of the best weapons in the game. You get to shoot a bubble that slows enemies down, shoot them with needles, which then gives bonus melee damage, and has a charged up long distance shot. Kind of OP to tell you the truth. Alright, back to our home sweet home, where our roommate tells us that the mayor, Lemonhead, wants to meet us and help him do some dirty work. Basically, he wants us to continue being a bounty hunter for him, so his political stance won't be affected. It's like he works for the US government or something. We now go to Rick Harrison to buy a jetpack, and while I'm there, I buy a few upgrades. Of course, the jetpack is like the PS5 when it first came out. It's all on back order. So just like every other gamer, we take a nap till we can finally purchase the jetpack. We wake up to a little cheesy tutorial. This game seems to be mostly tutorials and unskippable dialogue. It's honestly terrible for speedrunning, but fairly easy. Other than trying to understand the boss, which is honestly not that hard either. Speaking of which, we wait for this unskippable cutscene to end, in which we go back to the Care Bear land and search for our next bounty. At this point of the game, we have tons of movement, and the game is going to want us to combo our movements together, which if you're blindly running trying to hardcore parkour things, it doesn't always work out.
Okay, this definitely must be the right way because, you know,
As we traverse further into the level, we are introduced into our newest enemies, the snipers. Now, the snipers are probably the easiest in the game. They notify you when you are targeted, they die quickly, and they don't do damage like Halo 2 legendary jackals with beam rifles. We run into this receptionist a second time, and she narcs on us so hard. So now back to killing enemies. We have to use these elevators to move up the level, but they only have halfway elevators, meaning they only move halfway up the wall. 2 out of 10. This right here is the exact moment where I discover how to use my sprint and the thruster to move much quicker. What the fuck did I just do? We are now in the science lab. We see some cool things like ET, pink trees, and our newest weapon that I call Baby Maker. Basically, he's only good for solving mandatory puzzles that only he can do.
They die fast. Don't worry. It's easy to make more, and it feels good.
So after employing his kids to open the doors for us, we get to our next arena to kill people and get to our next boss. This boss really came off as very easy. He jumps in the air, landing on the ground, spreading waves of Nickelodeon slime all over the arena that do damage to you. You start to understand the patterns and how to avoid them. After defeating him, we continue through the forest. A couple CDA deaths later, we get to our next science lab, but obviously I forget to pay attention to my objective, where I need to kill all the CDA. After getting into the science lab, we see that they're training someone to study tentacle porn. Reminds me of what we saw earlier.
we just saved you.
But as I move into the next room, it does take my small brain a little to figure out our next puzzle, if that's what we're going to call this. But, on to the next boss. The arena is one of those satisfying videos where people put things into metal grinders and we watch them get destroyed. This one was much easier than any of the other bosses. That was the fastest I could have boss. Then we get to this massive canyon where I struggled way too much. Like, kind of lame.
I gotta be honest, I'd rather be swimming than a... Get us out of here!
But after getting across, we face the final brother of these bosses. There's another one. Overall, another fairly easy boss fight that quickly becomes more difficult as 3 join together, and now you have about 75,492 things to dodge on your screen at any given point. This fight was not easy, especially when they separate and you have to somehow kill one of them before they regroup. Holy shit. But as we do, we slowly but surely finish off the boss.
Oh my god, bro.
So between these sections, my timer gets messed up and I have to restart it. So basically, the time will be whatever the numbers in the top left corner are put together. We head back to home sweet home and our amazing roommates. After settling this argument, we get directions to find Dr. Giblets.
Yeah, you're pathetic, yeah.
We also unlock a new feature in our suit where we have Sherlock Holmes assist us while we interrogate people about Dr. Giblets.
Hey there, bounty hunter. It's me, Pseudo again. I'm still here. I've been here the whole time. Welcome
Come
to
on,
Code.
let me out.
All those re-
We get question prompts again where it's best just to blatantly ask them who Dr. Giblets is.
What is it with you and this Dr. Giblets guy? My name's Craig, and I'm really sick from eating a lot of sandwiches. Leave me alone.
We then get graded on our performance, and just like in school, the grades do not matter. But we eventually talk to Zoidberg, and he directs us to the correct area. We travel through the slums to get to a store called High on Life.
The only way for me to solve this crisis is to be Superman 4, the quest for peace.
Oh, that's why they call it that.
Interrogate more people just to meet the men in black. They leave us be, but we do steal our next movement item off of a dead body. Listen, I don't make the rules, I just play them. With our newly acquired boots, we can run on walls. And just to follow suit with the rest of the game, we get a small little tutorial section where we try just to speed through it. Utilizing our newly found boosted slide tech, we go back home where the men in black are hanging out. They're actually not that bad, they just seem way too intense. They actually are Mayor Lemonhead's kids, which makes sense for reasons. They're like baby lemons and you're like a aged lemon. I don't know why it all looks like that. Okay. But they do give me directions to Dr. Giblets, so on to our next level we go. We get to this canyon where I probably should have killed some of the CDA, but obviously didn't. Jesus Christ. At first I thought I was in the wrong area till I saw that I was supposed to use my new boots to wall run. It is what it is, but most definitely wasting some time. We then get to our next science lab so Sherlock Holmes can do some more research till we find Dr. Giblets, which I use my incredible skills and experience to take him out. Nice. But as we know, it's too good to be true, so we have to fight off waves of enemies and then sometimes just have to grapple up in the air just to avoid some gases that come into the room. Honestly, the easiest fight, but it does take some time because it's a wave-based system. Did he just fucking twerk? But after we finish, we find what is truly the most OP weapon, Let's. We don't get to use him yet, as he is, well, not fully here. This is the most messed up. Kenny says that Jean can fix him, so we bring Let's back home. Jean then tells us that her sister and her alien boyfriend went missing.
Maybe check with Tweeg. He works at that Space Applebee's uptown.
We leave all of our weapons except Kenny and Stabby so we can go to a fine wine and dine restaurant. Applebee's. I don't know if I could have done this faster, but this is where Kenny tells us that he actually is the reason why the talking weapons planet was destroyed. Let's is the only one that knows it though. We barely listen, but order our food and try to distract ourselves. I got it. You're a bad guy. Cool. Luckily, our sister and boyfriend show up so we can leave this awkward conversation. I also experienced this glitch where my character auto-walks to something, but incredibly slowly. Like, look at this. Why am I moving 3 miles an hour? This is the third time in the last like 5 minutes that this has happened. We go back home, but the CDA are invading the Blimp City. We need to get out of here as soon as possible. Kenny gives us the password to his porn accounts, which conveniently sends us to Gatlas.
862135-60 capital G lowercase x dash WW capital Volt C4.
How do you memorize this shit? What is this, your password? I'm gonna take this and use my password. I mean,
174-222-65344.
no, I'm not.
Space coordinates and manually.
Fucking 555. That's right. Of the 43-2118.
Okay.
74.
Scramble time.
We regroup, take a nap, and then travel to our sister. This is when we have to listen to another super awkward conversation about their sex and their equipment.
None of our shit even lines up correctly. You could be pregnant and I would fucking wonder how that happened. My cum goes all over outside of your body.
Well, okay.
Jesus.
I don't know if it's good
That's
either.
disgusting.
Your body is really confusing. God, I'm just so confused. Aren't we in love?
They break up, so we take her back home. More super long dialogue, but Kenny does tell the other guns that he destroyed their planet because Let's will tell them anyways. They're obviously pissed, but then we move on to our next bounty. We go back to the sand planet to hear our guns bicker some more.
Kenny doesn't deserve any of this hate, right, Bounty Hunter?
But we try to get shit on and become a CDA again.
Oh, no can do, partner.
Well, his pet is constipated or something, so we have to get this magical flower. To get to it, we need to settle this family feud with a duel. Oh, well, I didn't really mean to do that. I didn't think I even could do that, to be honest, but okay. We lied to this guy's son so we can finally get shit on. God, it's weird saying that. I killed your dad.
Does he love us or not? Your dad, he loves you very much.
Now that we look like the CDA again, we find Jeffrey Epstein's island. This is creepy. We get kindly escorted to our seats before we just instantly stand up and start slaying the CDA. Okay, everyone just magically disappeared. Now we talk to our favorite receptionist, again. God damn it, Helen. And we are on to our next boss. So this boss is in charge of the Jeffrey Epstein lounge that we were just in. So obviously the boss fight would be this super trippy event. Holy cow! We have to listen to a ton of dialogue before getting to this fight sequence. There is an easy way of doing it, but either I didn't understand it or just visually had a hard time seeing it because this fight really bothered me. I'm confused if I'm supposed to be doing something. I swear, if I die here... What the fuck? What am I supposed to do? Dude, I'm about to fucking lose my shit. Like, what am I supposed to do? This is not fun. I thought I understood it, but I was just getting more and more frustrated. Oh my god, fuck this game, dude. This is so lame. This is, honestly, the worst boss fight I've ever played in my entire life. We end the first phase just for another trippy dialogue section, on to phase 2, which was very easy, but then onward to our third trippy dialogue section. I really don't like how long these take, but it is what it is. Luckily for me though, the final phase was 6 because we got to use all 5 weapons at the same time. Nice, I can still knife him. Oh, I needed to knife him the whole time. I just didn't want to die again in this stupid fucking We are now on to the last mission. We head home, grab Let's, who can only say let's do it, so we wasted all that time listening to Kenny tell us about the secret. God, I hate how much dialogue I couldn't skip. We're also back on Earth, so we can take back our planet from these aliens. We get to use Let's for the first time, and you can see just how strong he actually is. We push on through looking for our neighborhood, kill a bunch of CDA, doing a couple puzzles and jumps to then fight off the final boss. He honestly looks like what an egg yolk that was mutated into a giant alien turd would look like. But this was one of the easier boss fights, mostly because of Let's. Just fucking die. But then we put a bomb inside of his... Okay. Well, there goes my monetization. I don't even know if I can show this on YouTube. Children, cover your eyes. Well, okay. The remote doesn't go off, so he threatens us with Jack Black and Susan Sarandon.
Hey, it's me, Jack Black.
Hi, I'm Susan Sarandon. Do we know you?
After finding out they mean nothing to me, he kills them and we move on to phase 2. Okay, Jack Black's dead. Another easy phase to then... God damn it, demonetized again.
Christ, this game is so intense.
You're the best bounty hunter I've ever seen, and you're an even better friend. See you later, pal.
Jesus.
So Kenny goes up
Christ,
inside to
that's
detonate the bomb,
intense.
to which ends the run.
God, they survived. They made it. I'm alive. Is Garmontuos dead?
We owe you big time. The whole universe owes you.
Is this the actual end?
It's like... I'm so glad you made it. We did it.
All right, there it is. That is my speedrun attempt on High on Life, but without ever playing the game or watching any gameplay on it. I hope you guys really enjoyed the video. 5 hours, 10 minutes, and 4 seconds isn't that bad. Their kind of like official playtime says it should take you about 9 hours. So cutting it down to about 60% with a lot of mistakes in there, a lot of just like really bad mistakes, is really not that bad. If you guys want to see the full gameplay, I will have both the links down below. It is separated into 2 different streams, but they will be down below, okay? While you're down there will also be the link to the world record run, which is what we played at the very beginning of the video. So I'll have his link down there as well. Overall, I would not rate this as a great speedrunning game. I know I'm missing a lot of things, but like the amount of dialogue and the amount of just like time that you have to wait was just not very friendly. And I haven't watched the speedrun, but I've taken peeks at it. I saw that you could like restart the checkpoint and it'll like skip the time or like the dialogue and stuff. But overall, like the lack of skipping in this game seemed like it wasn't the best speedrunning game, but I still had a lot of fun playing it. I do plan on making more of these videos along with like world record reaction videos, along with me like actually trying to speedrun the game. So if you guys are interested in that type of content, please do like the video and comment down below, but also subscribe so you don't miss out on any of that content. But my name is Ben. I really appreciate you guys for sticking around this far. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.